Hi, Steve Kennedy here again. In August of 2008, I posted a video on YouTube with recommendations on how to avoid problems with stamped concrete. Since then, there have been over 90,000 viewings of that video. I have received literally hundreds of emails, mostly complimentary, thanking me for the guidance and recommendations. Only a few were nasty or threatening. Many have asked for an update on how things ended up with my lawsuit and for further recommendations based on what I had since learned. If you've not seen that first video, I urge you to do so, as this video will make more sense to you. You can view the original by searching on YouTube under Stamped Concrete. The purpose of this video is to try to answer your original questions and provide further guidance so you can hopefully avoid the costly and disappointing results I have experienced. After the YouTube posting in August of 2008, the driveway continued to deteriorate significantly with more and more pop-outs with each passing month. It was especially bad after the winter freeze-thaw cycle caused more and more surface defects, such as these. My lawyer and I tried to work with RKC Increte and its president, Mr. Robert Kelly Ware, to come to a mutually agreeable resolution. We initially suggested that RKC Increte join us and sue the real culprit, Hilltop Concrete, who delivered an extremely bad batch of concrete. The bad concrete was not the fault of RKC Increte, but legally, my contract was with RKC Increte, and it was RKC Increte who had subcontracted with Hilltop Concrete. I had no legal recourse with Hilltop. Bob Ware unfortunately rejected our offer. I then spent many months educating myself on concrete, everything from specifications, batch mixes, types of stones used in those mixes, the effects of weathering, past lawsuits on poor quality, and so on. I wanted to be thorough so I could hold my own during an arbitration. At the beginning of April 2008, I called Hilltop and asked them to send someone out to look at my driveway. They sent Bud Ruffing, a sales consultant, even though I had asked for a technical person. The initial and final response from Hilltop was that the driveway met specification, even though the pop-outs were now numerous and ever increasing. My lawsuit ended up in arbitration in July of 2010. We started with both parties and the arbitrator coming to see the driveway. At the time of arbitration, there were 573 surface defects on my driveway of 2,110 square feet. That is 2.4 surface defects per square yard. Our expert witness and the expert witness of RKC Increte both testified that the concrete was of inferior quality, and that met specifications according to Hilltop. After a day and a half of arbitration, during which Bob Ware admitted under oath that he had never seen such a poor job, that he was not proud of the driveway, and that the number of pop-outs was not acceptable, I won the case. I was awarded $36,587, which was the average of two proposals to replace the driveway since the driveway was so bad. Bob Ware of RKC Increte asked for a protracted payment plan due to cash flow problems plaguing RKC Increte with the poor economy. We negotiated a plan that would allow RKC Increte to pay back that amount over a period of 16 months. After paying just $13,987, RKC Increte stopped paying and ceased doing business. We went after RKC Increte in a debtor hearing to see if we could attach its assets, only to determine that RKC Increte had no assets. Bob Ware had filed a personal bankruptcy, owed several $100,000 to the banks, and that the banks had priority over me due to the terms of those agreements of the loans. Bottom line, I was not going to receive any more money. Since Ware was not happy with the impact on his business of my first YouTube video, he insisted I remove it as part of our original settlement. Its removal and our agreement not to post this second video became part of the original settlement upon full payment of the awarded settlement. Those terms prevented me from answering any of your emails or YouTube postings. To try and salvage something after the debtor hearing, we again offered the same terms about the videos if Ware and his crew would come out and repair the pop-outs. Specifically, those terms were that, number one, there would be no second video posted exposing his unprofessional behavior, and two, that I would remove the first video posted on YouTube, so that if he chose to start up a new company under a new name, no one would know what he had done to me. I believe Bob Ware is now operating as R. Kelly Constructors at the very same location as before at 3546 Eastern Avenue in Cincinnati, Ohio. Anyway, Bob Ware agreed to our proposal and said he would make the repairs. We asked for clarification what he would do, but never received a reply from him or his lawyer. After waiting weeks, we gave him a deadline for a reply, but heard nothing. So I'm now free to post this video and tell you all about Bob Ware, RKC Increte, Hilltop Concrete of Cincinnati, and their unprofessional behavior, so you can make an informed decision as to whether you want to use their services and products for your project. There's some additional points for you to consider. Number one, I would recommend exhaustive efforts to vet the contractor you're considering. I did my research on the firm RKC Increte, but not the individual. Bob Ware turned out to be a major disappointment with his unprofessional behavior when problems arose. When he said to me, "You're just too damn picky," I knew he was not to be trusted. His refusal to fulfill his promises and commitments to stand behind the quality of his work, to pay the award of the court from his loss of the arbitration, to repair my driveway after repeated offers and his agreement to do so, nor to cooperate in any way we proposed, makes me question his true character. Robert K. Ware, his sons Kelly Ware and Kirk Ware, and his foreman Joe Horney were all involved with Bob. I believe Bob and his sons are now involved with R. Kelly Constructors, LLC. Are these the kind of people you want to do any concrete work for your project? Be very careful and judge carefully the person as well as the company you hire to do the contracting. Number two, similarly, be involved in decision as to who is the subcontractor chosen to supply the concrete. After Ware lost the arbitration, he went to Hilltop to ask if they would help RKC financially, since it was the very bad batches of concrete from Hilltop that caused all the problems in the first place. Hilltop came out and looked at the driveway again and refused to help RKC Increte with the settlement costs. If Hilltop insists that 573 surface defects are within specification, is this the kind of company you want to supply your concrete? Check the Better Business Bureau and especially Angie's List for the contractor and the concrete supplier, as the ratings on Angie's List are directly from the consumers of the products and services. Number three, ask about the composition of the batch of concrete. I would recommend 5,000 psi concrete rather than the typical 4,500 psi. It is a bit more expensive, but of much higher quality and less likely to experience problems. In addition, in the Midwest, it is common to use river rock in the mix. Avoid its use entirely. River rock is highly porous, and in my case is what absorbed the moisture causing the pop-outs on my driveway. Consider using limestone instead. It again increases the cost, but eliminates any possibility of pop-outs on the concrete surface, as limestone will not absorb moisture. Pea gravel is also a potential possibility, but discuss this with your contractor, as it might not be an option in your area. Remember, you only want to do this once and definitely not do it over. Number four, if you do end up suing, get a good lawyer who has experience with concrete litigation. A good lawyer can make a big difference. Similarly, you will need an excellent expert witness to testify on your behalf. I hired the owner of a concrete testing laboratory from well outside the local area. Do not be surprised if you're unable to find anyone in your local area who will testify on your behalf. Concrete suppliers, contractors, and testing laboratories are a very close-knit community and do not like to say anything negative about one another for fear of reprisals. Number five, you do need to use arbitration in the event of litigation. In my original video, I recommended that you try to avoid arbitration and get a judge and jury. That option is usually not available unless there is a case of personal injury. Arbitration is normal and usually a part of any contractor's agreement. Do not, however, agree to use the American Arbitration Association for the administration of your lawsuit, as they are very expensive. Instead, insert in the contract that a mutually agreed to local professional arbitrator be chosen. Number 6. Choose an arbitrator very carefully, one who is impartial and has a good track record for fairness. Talk to your lawyer friends for personal recommendations. Experience and knowledge of concrete are an absolute must. Number 7. Be prepared to spend dearly for your efforts. I will have spent over $20,000 for legal fees when this is all said and done. These costs are not eligible for reimbursement even when you win an arbitration settlement. Was it all worth it? Good question. RKC Increte was the largest and most well-known contractor in the area. I felt I had a very good case and could win, and I did win. Ware's bankruptcy seemed like only a very remote possibility at the time I decided to proceed. But for me, this was a matter of principle. I was not going to succumb to the tactics that Bob Ware tried to use against me. Someone capable and willing has to stand up and fight unscrupulous contractors. I had the will, the education, the finances, and the determination to pursue him. Furthermore, I wanted to share with you what I've learned so that you don't have to spend the time or financial resources to educate yourself, and that you improve your chances for an uneventful and successful experience with your project. Number 8. In the event of problems, try repairing your driveway first. A good contractor will want to do this to preserve his reputation, especially if he is listed on Angie's list. If it is the contractor who does the work, try to get an extended warranty for the repairs. This won't be easy, but it is worth the effort if you succeed. Number 9. Maintain your driveway by assuring that the sealer is intact. Water will seep into any concrete surface that is exposed. If you live where the winters are harsh, the freeze-thaw cycles will expose any weakness in the surface. A few pop-outs are inevitable and can be easily repaired. While I've never used salt on my driveways in the winters, its usage can be very aggressive to your surface. Avoid its use at all costs. Finally, it should be noted that even though my lawsuit was against RKC Increte Systems Incorporated, the Increte company out of Florida should in no way be implicated as part of this problem. They make fine quality products and have since terminated their relationship with RKC Increte. Hope this video is useful to you in your efforts to contract for stamped concrete. It is a beautiful product. Fortunately, most contractors are highly reputable businessmen. I hope you are successful in finding and working with one to achieve long-term success with your project. Thank you and good luck.